Today on Between the Lines, the man Jay Leno calls the Iron Man of comedy, George Wallace. Welcome, I'm Barry Kibrick. George has appeared on virtually every late-night show in television history. He was named one of Comedy Central's top 100 stand-up comics, and his Vegas show has always been a sellout crowd. Now with his book, Laugh It Off, George not only continues to keep us laughing, but his words of wisdom also gives us plenty of food for thought.
I'm a writer today because I was a reader when I was 11 years old, and it was...
You do not need to prove your state of happiness to anybody.
Most of these speeches were as much as a month in preparation.
Characters, the heroes in this book, are seekers of truth in a story that involves a lot of corruption.
I don't get a chance to really talk about what's real, and it's the purpose for me.
Mr. Wallace, George, it is a pleasure to have you here on Between the Lines.
Barry, I'm so happy I'm in Between the Lines. I'm here with you. Let me take my glasses off so I can talk to you. You know what? It is such a joy to be here, and that smile you have on your face there. Thank you so much for having me. I'm just happy to be here today.
Well, it's my pleasure, sir. And you know, I've been blessed with having I had the late, great David Brenner on the show.
Did you?
I did. I've had Larry Miller on the show.
Larry Miller?
Yep. And I want to say this, and present company not only included, but exceptionally included, the great comedians write funny books, no doubt, but they're also very deeply philosophical and spiritual. And I found when I read yours, I said, all right, this is the troika, 3 for 3. It's you can't stop laughing, but it is deeply philosophical and on a level spiritual.
I like to say it's an inspirational book. I like to say it's a self-help book. I like to say it's a life coaching book. I like to say it's a funny and a humorous book, and it's just about a good read for life.
It is, and in fact, when you start off, I'm not doing any of your jokes. That I promise.
You can do my jokes.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to embarrass myself.
I don't even know what they are. I don't even know my jokes. I had to reread the book. I'm writing on another book now because I forgot what I put in the book. Because I lie every day. So I make up stuff and I don't know what I said. Okay?
Well, you talk about Jerry Seinfeld.
He's an idiot. He's an idiot. Jerry Seinfeld. We just did. This is something you got to check out. Now you don't know about this. This is running now on TV, a web series, and it's been very popular. Seinfeld has a series called Comedian in Cars Getting Coffee, and we go out and we talk about everything. And this is the one he's been asking me to do it for years, and I've been, of course, in Las Vegas for years, and I didn't have time to do the show. Just did it. So popular. Go online right now. Comedian in Cars Getting Coffee. George Wallace and Jerry Seinfeld, a one-on-one experience, just sitting there talking about life, and it's so funny. And but he's still an idiot. He called me an idiot too. We're both idiots. That's how we met. He was an idiot, and I was an idiot too. Idiots like to hang out with.
Well, you guys were roommates. You're the best man at his wedding. And
I'm the father of his kids. Did I talk? I'm sure you read about it. We're talking about Seinfeld, my best friend for 38 years. I wish everybody could have a friend like. Is that a blessing or what? Out of all the people I could have been hooked up with during my days of comedy starting in the 70s, I like to say God put me with this young kid, and I know the family. I mean, his mom just died. I was pallbearer at his mom's funeral, and like I said, being best man in his wedding. These are Jewish people I'm talking about. And
they still welcomed you in there. Right?
And I'm in there. You know, when I got to the funeral, they said, you go over and stand next to Jerry with the pallbearer. I'm going, me? That's such an honor. You know, when the first boy was born, I was an honorary.
For the bris?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But the grandfather was standing there, and you know, it's supposed to be the father and the grandfather. They made me do it. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
So I love Jerry Seinfeld. I wouldn't say that in his face. I wouldn't say that, in his face. He doesn't need to know that.
Well, I'm not even going to tell him when this show airs then.
And if you're listening, don't you tell him I said that either.
Promise. Now, but you know what the thing that brings you both together is you love it for the sake of loving it. That's what it really, and that's what comes out so much in this book. And even throughout every moment in the green room, as I said, you just love to laugh and make people laugh, and there's nothing that is more engaging than you being able to do that.
First of all, what you just said, I'm so happy to have written this book. People have been on me for years to go put words into, put them on paper. Like Joel Osteen up there, I have so many wonderful stories to tell to the world. I just love, so many people don't enjoy what they do for a living, and that's what I teach. Make sure, I teach the college kids, make sure you enjoy your life. Just because you get a degree in marketing doesn't mean you got to do statistical analysis the rest of your life. You might enjoy arranging flowers, or fixing refrigerators, or painting cars. Just make sure you honor your essences. I have a chapter in the book on honor your essence. Show people you love what you're doing about life. And when people see you enjoy what you're doing, you don't even have a job. You know, and the money will come. And it's contagious
too.
And
it's contagious.
Yeah, it's contagious. People come out to see me and we are laughing every night. I don't know these people. Thousands of people, and it's just, and laughter is contagious. It's the best medicine in the world. I'll talk about how contagious it is in a few minutes. But doing what you want to do and enjoy, and when you work, people say you're going to retire. Retire from what? I don't do anything. I don't do anything. I love what I do, and I want so many people to start changing their lives. I teach people this every day. Get out of that fishbowl. People are going 9 to 5 every day, back and forth. 9 to 5, just like the fishbowl. The fish hits the side of the bowl, goes back, back, back. And I want people to enjoy their life. Start doing what you want to do. As Reverend Ike, there was a preacher many years ago, said you can have what you want to have, you can do what you want to do, and you can be what you want to be. Just visualize yourself with what you want to do in life. And I tell you what, I'm doing it, I've lived it, and I don't even have to get paid. I'm probably not getting paid to be here. But that's a difference.
You're definitely not getting paid to be here. I can assure you that.
But I'm having fun.
Good.
I'm enjoying my life, okay? I'm having fun. That's the most important thing about life. It's not how much, that's what I told Seinfeld one day. I am the most successful comedian you've ever met. It's not how much money you make. It's how you enjoy your life while you're living.
Well, George, you enjoy every moment. You state that in here. In fact, at first you almost want to cry when you read it, and then again you don't even allow us to because you laugh as the book says it off. But your parents, they raised you at such a wonderful way that even though they passed, I think before you were 20.
Yeah,
I think
before
you were
I was 20 for sure.
For sure.
Both parents.
And yet you still were able to not, you would, I don't want to say laugh at it, that would be sacrilege almost, but you were able to, well you describe it, I guess you did.
I did laugh it off.
You did laugh it off,
yeah,
right.
My parents raised me, you know, like my mom was 16 when she left the house. She says, baby, I'm going to the hospital and I won't come back, but don't you worry about your life. It has already been taken care of. So, you know, being 16, I'm a kid. I'm thinking she's going to go to the hospital, she's come back. Well, she knew. And my dad died of grief because of her. 2 years later, he was gone. And, but they taught me how to live. While I was living there 16 years, they taught me how to love people, enjoy people. We've never had any problems with racial issues or anything like that. Just enjoy people, love people, and respect, most of all. Respect everybody.
You have a philosophy as you teach with kids. One of the strong things that you want people to do is step out of their comfort zone. That's, I guess, that fishbowl analogy.
That's right.
Am I right?
Get over the fishbowl.
Get over that.
Get over that. Climb down a little ladder and do some things that you want to get out of that fishbowl and try some things you've never tried before. See, I have a thing that I have to do. I can't swim, Barry. I can't swim. So I gotta get out of my little comfort zone and I gotta go to the water and learn how to swim. Can you swim?
I can swim. I was a lifeguard.
That don't mean you can swim. You just had a job. That doesn't mean you can. I was a lifeguard. Yeah. Well, I need to learn how to swim. I really do.
Lessons are $10 an hour, and I'll be happy to take you over.
That's the problem. $10 an hour.
George, the other thing you really want to share is stop doubting yourself. We live in an age, and I say we live in an age as if we didn't always live in this age, but self-doubt is one of the biggest obstacles for all humans to overcome. And you know that we as humans have it in us to overcome it.
Well, of course, just this past Sunday, Joel Osteen was, you know, Joel Osteen out of Houston, Texas, one of the biggest ministers in the world. That was his sermon about stop doubting yourself. You can if you think things are impossible, it's going to be impossible. You already just defeated your purpose. If you think, oh, I could never do this. It's like, look at that big house up on the hill. I sure would like to have a house like, well, why shouldn't you? that's what you want to work, if that's what you want to do in life, work to get whatever you want. And God is good. God wants us to have everything we want to have. I've done everything I wanted to do in life just because that's what I want to do. And it's out there. Make it happen. Make it happen. I'll travel all over the world. That's another thing. Loving people, teaching young kids. Travel. As soon as you get out of college, all the young people, I love to say this, get on an airplane, go to another country, see how other people live. Charge it to your parents. But it's important to travel while you're young, because you got to travel while everything is working.
Can I quote you on your book? You don't mind? I'm going to do, because you're just talking about young people. You say teenagers are like star systems. Your job is to maintain some order in the galaxy without becoming Darth Vader and losing them. So you have a certain obligation, you say, but yet let them go and be free in that galaxy.
That's true, and you got to teach them, and you got to train them, you got to teach them about let them go, and then one day you'll have problems with your kids. They'll get to an age where they start talking back and whatever, but you got to teach them, have fun with them, and do it with love. And some of the kids today don't have that. Unfortunately, they don't have the parents to teach them. And I'm just so blessed to have grown up in a house with two parents, and some kids don't get that today either. My father was a strong disciplinarian. God bless George Wallace. He would walk in the house, and if you're doing something wrong, never said a word.
Wow.
Can you believe that? Point at you, and wherever that finger went, that's where you went. If that finger went to a chair, your butt went to that chair. He was that strong. He was so strong, I can remember the day once we were jumping up and down in the bed trying to touch the ceiling. One time my father walked in the room, bam, caught us in the middle of the air. And we couldn't come down until that finger. But I had the greatest parents in the world, and that's what all starts. Problems we're having in the schools today, people saying, how could this kid do this? It starts with parenting. It starts with parenting. You got to teach the kids right. Some people don't even know what their kids are doing.
You mentioned two preachers before. Faith runs through this book, and you are a big man of big faith.
Yes, I am. I believe the man of because I've been blessed. I've been so blessed, like I said before. I told you I'm the most successful comedian in the world. And I hope you feel that way also. I
do. In fact, the only thing I regret is that we all don't realize it as often as we should. It should stay in our minds constantly. And it's always elusive, though, for so many of us. I get the sense you've got a pretty good grip on it. But for so many of us, it's a little elusive.
And when you're blessed and know that you're blessed, you've got to share it. You got to give back.
Yeah.
You got to share it. Your purpose on earth is to give back, and you're doing well. Give back to the community. Give back to people that need help. I just love giving back. That's what life is all about. Sharing the goodness of your blessing.
Well, you also love the way that this country allows us to share. You say that we're all different, and that makes us the same. And always remember that there's a lot more that unites us than divides us. And I'm such a firm believer. I did, but I'm also such a firm believer in that. And all we are almost fed on a daily basis is only the things that divide us. We must keep remembering that there's maybe 3 to 4 issues that divide us, and that's about it. Everything else, almost everyone is in sync with.
And there's one thing, all we have to remember that can just keep us together. Do unto others as you have them do unto you.
The golden rule, that's all you need.
But do they teach that in school anymore? I don't know. I don't know whether they teach that. But that's all you need. Just think about that. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. All problems solved.
George, another thing that I think allows us to laugh it off, and it's these words that you say: remember, you are not alone. And so often, again, I say in our time, and I keep wanting to correct myself throughout history, the individual feels that they're alone, and they don't realize how much, if they're fortunate at least, to be blessed with so many others around them.
We're all into this together. Whatever the problems are, someone is sharing the same problems, be it financial problems, a relationship problem, be it even death in your family. We're all in the same. Whatever you want going through, there's somebody else sharing the same moment. And that's why once again, I come back to laugh it off. You know, it's good to keep humor in your life no matter what. Even if you have a loved one recently passed away, listen to me, especially if you have a loved one recently passed away. Think about all of the great times you had with your loved ones. It will always outweigh the bad times, and that will cause a smile to come to your face. And you need to smile and laugh often. Do you know laughter, we always say laughter is the greatest medicine in the world, but doing my research of 38 years doing comedy all over America, do you know what I found out? You cannot laugh without feeling better. You cannot smile without feeling better.
Oh,
did you know that?
Absolute truth. I did know that, and I tell that to people. I say, try it.
Try it.
Just smile.
Do it.
Just
You
smile,
can't even
and
fake
you
it.
feel better.
You can't even fake it.
You can't. It's amazing. You can't do it. And people, and you know, they find that they can't believe that, and I say, I am not BSing you. You
right?
just put the smile on, and the rest will follow later.
Listen,
Fake
look at
it
us
until
right
you
now.
can make
we
it.
Just, you know, we're getting crazy right now. Just smile, just putting a smile on our face. It's the greatest thing in the world. And when you walk into a room, and you should call, there should be a reason to smile. Okay, that's how you should live your life. When you walk into a room, everybody should say, "Oh, you know." And if you walk in there, you go, "Oh, here, speaking of the devil." And why do we say that when your best friend is coming through the door? Speaking of the devil. But you gotta laugh. You gotta keep laughing in your life, no matter what. We're all going through the same things, and just enjoy life. And it's easier to live with laughter than pain.
Well, you know, you talked about even before about the different jobs, and I want to use again a line of yours. Your work doesn't define you. How you do your work defines you. And you can put the book down, George. I'm telling you, it's going to be all over the show. I've got so many shots of it.
You can put the book down. It's what happened is that I'm working on another book, and this book is new to me. I'm working on another book. This is new to me, so I want to put it down.
Well, you know, wait. To pick it back up, then I want to say something about it, because you are working on something new. You said you're doing something. You did the thing with Seinfeld, but is there something else?
I was tweeting. I'm writing a book about. I tweet every day. I was voted top 25 funniest tweeters by Rolling Stone magazine, and I want to write some of my tweets. And I don't know what to call it. Maybe you can help me. I want to call it maybe Bull Twit or Good Enough to Tweet. Some name like that. I got to come up with a name for the book. It's all about tweeting in the world. Are you tweeting yet?
You know,
know,
this is very fun. I am tweeting or twitting. I'm on Twitter and I tweet.
You
yes.
just started. Yes, that's true. It is good, and I've been tweeting. We're having so much fun, and I just.
Well, you know, my son tells me, in fact, it is the comedians that get the biggest followers, from Albert Brooks to you to whatnot. People, because you're always tweeting something that's going to make somebody laugh no matter what. I'm going to probably be tweeting something that's
serious or something.
Yeah.
Well, we do tweet, especially my good friend too. Let me mention Dan Ewan. Without he's a ghostwriter. I don't know why they call it. Why do they call it ghostwriter? I mean, he's standing.
Not especially since you mentioned his name.
Right. But yes, tweeting, and I tweet things like, this week I've been tweeting like LeBron James. You know, that's my son. I went to the University of Akron in Ohio. I don't know whether you know that. So I claim LeBron as my son. So it's good that, is he a big man or what? Going back to Cleveland after he left, and
isn't this a puzzling thing? It is. So you're liking that, am I right? It is.
I don't like him going back to Cleveland. No, I don't. I
Yeah.
hated that decision, because once you leave, you don't go back. Those people hated him. That's what makes him a better man than me. And I learned something from him. He went back home to give to those kids. He realized he has his 2 rings. Money is nothing to him. He's going back and what? Giving back to the community. And I said, you know what? He's right. I'm happy with whatever decision he made, and the people of Cleveland needed him, because basketball was so bad there. People were going to the arena ordering hot dogs to go. So they really needed him there, you know. And I'm proud of what's going on in America. These young kids, Michael Sam's, the gay kid that came out.
Oh, right.
He made a great speech at the ESPY Awards the other night, and it's just I'm glad people are living and being who they want to be and making these decisions. I could talk about that on and on, because.
Well, I want you to talk about it on him, because I'm going to want to read your words just about that. You say, I know a lot of folks who beat themselves up for decisions they made in the past. That's what LeBron could have exactly done, right?
Yeah.
That's nothing but a trap.
A friend of mine gets angry and he hits the wall. Cement wall. Well, who's still standing? Why would you hit that wall? You got a cast on you and walk around hurting. The wall is still there. If you have a dumb job and you do dumb things, you're gonna remain. It's going to turn out to be a dumb job. Do something you like. Stop making the same dumb mistakes. Change your life and go in the right direction.
And you say, if you can't do that, at least do this. And I'm going to read your words. The past is not an endless collection of failures. It's instead a magnificent collection of lessons. If you can keep that in your mind, even if you go back, you won't be so bad off.
You won't make, yeah, this is true. You won't make the same mistake. At least you know what you've learned in the past. So.
You also say this, and I guess as a comic, in fact, you must have a real sensitivity to it. In the throes of defeat, there is always a piece of armor that will help you in the next fight. And as a comic who I know has good nights, you have bad nights, you've got to know that you've got that piece of armor that can be by your side.
I bombed one time so badly, so in my head, I know I'll never bomb again. I was at the Neverleys in New York City, old Jewish resort, and I was on stage for 45 minutes. I got not one laugh. Not one laugh. It's worse than a funeral. Worse than my mom's funeral, not one laugh. But I stayed up there for 45 minutes. And on my way back to New York City, I wanted to drive off the Tappan Zee Bridge. It was bad. But I said to myself, what I learned from that is that I'll never bomb again. And I got on stage one night at the Catch a Rising Star, and the man said, "You suck." I said, "Oh man, you suck. I sucked. You should have been here last night. I really suck," you know. So you just start having fun. So that's why I love going to work and sharing laughter. And I haven't had a bad night. It's just good to go out. When I hit that stage, it's my sex and it's my drugs. I love what I do.
You say it's also your inner voice. Listen to that inner voice. The problem is folks never pay it any mind, and you say it's the #1 cure for stupidity.
It's the #1 cure. So go ahead and do. If your mind tells you to be a good doctor, be the best doctor. If your mind tells you to be the best race car driver, be the best TV show host, be the best TV show host, and sit there with that smile on your face.
I'm going to smile on my face.
And you having a good time doing what you're doing, see?
Oh, gosh, yeah. Well, especially with a guest like you. So.
Because we both are doing nothing. We're doing nothing and we're enjoying it. Isn't that fun? Isn't that great? And if you honor your essence and do what you love to do in life, you'll never do anything. The greatest mechanic in the world loves to go to work on a car. Matter of fact, you never see a mechanic with a new car, do you?
That's right.
You've never seen a mechanic. There's a lot of things you never see. I talk about things like that all the time in life.
You also say sit next to old people, the wisdom.
You can learn a lot from old people. I just love to do it. I sit around and just in their conversation and their speech and their movements, and old people have the experience. As Richard Pryor said, you don't get that old by being dumb.
You know, but you also realize that sometimes, and I'll use your words again, you've got to hit rock bottom before you build yourself up. Now, I know you do everything you can to avoid that from happening to others, but it does sometimes, you sometimes have to do that. You sometimes have to bottom out. And I've seen so many people when that happens, the ones that do make it, they really do rise like the phoenix after that.
Some people do have to hit rock bottom. Sometimes you don't know where rock bottom is, but that's what you listen and you learn and you know not to make that same mistake again. Don't go in the past.
Now, I don't know if you're going to give a refund if this doesn't work, but you have a guarantee in the book, and you say, well, unguaranteed prediction. Something good will happen to you. In order to be ready for good things, you must appreciate those you already have.
You must appreciate what you have, and you know you've been blessed. That's how I'm smiling now. I know. See, if I'm so blessed, if I never get another blessing, what has already happened is good enough for me. If I die tomorrow, the world owes me nothing. Now, you was talking about a guarantee. It's also a guarantee that if you buy, go online now, on Amazon.com or GeorgeWallace.net. If you buy up to 15 or 20 of these books, something good will happen to you. If you buy 35 of these books, oh God, Lord, you can't have room to receive the blessings.
Oh,
George. You buy 50 at a time.
George, this has been wonderful.
Laugh it off. And it's the greatest medicine of all. And the good thing about laughter is free medicine. So I encourage you to overdose on this medicine. I encourage you to keep it in front of your children. Keep it in the reach of children. And if you start laughing and you can't stop for like 4 hours, then call your doctor and give the doctor the same prescription so the doctor can laugh along with you. It's good to laugh. Laughter is the best medicine in the world. No matter wherever you go or whatever you do, laugh it off. People give you problems, relationship problems. Just look at each other and just, if you're going through a divorce right now, married people, you're going to look at each other and just start laughing. Wife, look at your husband and just go, Look him straight in the eyes. I'm getting a house. So I'm getting a car, husband. Look at him, just tell you, I'm going to get a gun. Just laugh it off. Make sure you enjoy your life, okay? That's the most important thing.
George, if I can say this with a straight face, our time is up, and I'm going to end with your words. I believe it's possible to paint every aspect of our lives with enough humor to get us through. Thank you, George, for helping us get through it all.
Thank you so much. And something good is going to happen to you, whether you like it or not.
I love you for that, sir, and I love you guys, and thank you for joining us. Now, before George leaves, I'd like to leave you with these words from Laugh It Off. Open yourself to the people around you. Free yourself from the routines that control you. Fight through the fears that are holding you back. And lastly, experience this big old world to its fullest. It has more to offer than you can ever imagine. I'm Barry Kibrick. Between your routines and your fears lies more than you could ever imagine. Thank you so much, George. Good to have you.
Thank you
here, buddy.
again. Yes, sir.
My
yes,
pleasure.
Sir.
Closed captioning is made possible by MavenLink, business without boundaries, leveling the playing field for service businesses with enterprise-grade growth management software, and the expertise to empower companies worldwide to work faster and smarter. Learn more at mavenlink.com. To connect with Barry, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Barry Kibrick. And to contact Barry directly, watch past episodes of Between the Lines, and read his blog, visit us at barrykibrick.com.